answer, and we've got our good friend, Mr. Chris Hajec from the Immigration Reform Law Institute in D.C. They just recently put out a press release regarding how IRLI, as they are called, Immigration Reform Law Institute, is defending the Texas Transportation Order. If you recall, the state put forward a directive that the state was not going to help in the distribution, I'll use that word, the transportation of illegal aliens that the administration has been participating in. Chris, thank you very, very much for joining us this morning. Talk to us about this court case of IRLI defending the Texas Transportation Order.
The administration has filed a lawsuit, and also a private group that is banned by this order from transporting aliens in Texas, in trying to get a court to enjoin the order. And the argument they make is that it's preempted, that Texas's executive order is preempted by federal law. That is, under the supremacy clause of the Constitution, if a state law conflicts with federal law, the state law has to give place to the federal law. It is of no effect. But the problem with that, and this is what we pointed out in our brief to the court, and in support of Texas and in support of Texas in this case, is that what Biden is doing is releasing illegal aliens in great numbers and then contracting with private charitable organizations to transport them across Texas and across the country, take them wherever they want to go. And that is not a federal law. That is a policy of this administration that goes against federal law. What federal law says, and the purpose of it is to secure the border, deport illegal aliens and criminal aliens, and have a secure border. And Biden's doing the exact opposite, and claiming that this is federal law, and because the state law runs counter to it and disrupts this operation, it's somehow preempted under the supremacy clause.
You know, those of us that are here on the border have been watching, with great anxiety and trepidation as we see the administration, the Biden administration, I'll use the term colonizing the country with these illegal aliens, shipping them all over the place. And most recently, they're being criticized for shipping kids in the middle of the night, flying them to New York and other places. Do you think other states can challenge the transportation of these illegal aliens? Well, not only on commercial liners as well as commercial vehicles, as well as anything related to the state.
Yes, they can. If they want to, they will be sued. But hopefully, in the end, they will win, because this is not federal law we're talking about. This is a rogue administration running counter to the aims of Congress, and that's what you can't conflict with. That's what a state can't conflict with: the aims or purposes of Congress when it passed a law. And here, the purposes are not that illegal aliens get released and shipped all over the country. In other words, states are allowed to assist in accomplishing the aims of Congress, and they would do so by passing these kinds of laws or issuing these kinds of executive orders.
What about the situation where we've got a state agency assisting in helping in resettling illegal aliens? I mean, could they not also be challenged?
A state agency, you mean in another state?
Well, no, I'm here in the state of Texas. We're talking organizations like there's an organization called Raíces that apparently has been resettling and assisting folks to catch buses, to transport them, et cetera, et cetera. Couldn't they get in trouble?
Well, it would depend on what executive orders the governor issued.
Mm-hmm.
Aiding there's a law that harboring illegal aliens is illegal, and groups like that have gotten in trouble before with this law.
Yeah.
And the governor could issue orders to enforce that law.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There seems to be a lot of fear, a lot of caution by politicians to confront what I call the poverty industry, these organizations that are helping to, with the distribution of illegal aliens all over the country, with their transportation and with their housing and everything else. There's a real hesitancy to challenge them.
Well, I think what people have to realize is that if this goes on, it's only good for the poverty industry because there'll be a lot more poor Americans.
True.
Because they'll be competing, their jobs, their wages will decline, their housing opportunities will decline. It just creates more poverty all around to have this kind of influx. And people should not be, politicians should not be afraid to stand up for their constituents and their interests.
So this challenge, do you think? Where is it going to go now? Where is this court case going to be, and when do you think it'll be resolved, if at all?
It'll be resolved probably at the Fifth Circuit. I don't think we have a good district court here, and in this case, and it's going to need the Fifth Circuit to settle it, and it may go to the Supreme Court because it's an important issue of preemption law that has been addressed to some extent by Justice Alito, but and it was addressed in the Kansas versus Garcia case, where Kansas was prosecuting people for identity theft.
Right.
And the government claimed that was preempted, and the court said it was not. So it has been addressed there. That this might be another vehicle to make it plain, just when something the executive branch of the federal government does is treated as federal law, and when it's not.
Yeah, something similar to DACA, you mean?
Well, the key is that are they, is the executive branch going against Congress and the purposes of the law that it's supposedly enforcing?
True.
If it's doing that, and the state is actually helping to enact see those aims accomplished, then if it's helping the purposes of Congress, then it can't be preempting the law that Congress passed, and that seems to me to be the crucial distinction between the means that the government chooses to enforce a law. That may have preemptive force, but not if those means are not to enforce the law, but to do the opposite.
Gotcha.
To see that it's not enforced.
Let me ask you, as we before we close here, let me ask you real quick if you have any information you could share with us regarding the lawsuit that some sheriffs here in Texas brought against the Biden administration over the lack of security at the border.
Right. We represent the sheriffs and the counties in that case, and we are challenging the administration's enforcement priorities, which basically are an abandonment of enforcement, in order to deport even a really bad criminal. An agent has to get pre-approval from his field office, and it's this lengthy process, and it's futile. It's never granted. We've shown a number of cases where they've asked, "Can we deport this criminal?" And they wait, and the answer comes down, "No, you can't deport him. You have to let him go. You can't detain him." And challenging that, and also a policy that they have now. The law says when they encounter an illegal alien, they have to give them a notice to appear at immigration court. That commences removal proceedings against them. But what they're doing now is just letting them go without even a notice to appear. Instead, they have a notice to report to an ICE agency in a year or something. And of course, they never do, and it's meaningless. It doesn't commence any kind of legal action against them. It just tells them to show up at a nice facility.
Oh my gosh. It's just amazing how this administration, their lack of commitment to protect the border, to secure the border, and to stop illegal immigration, human smuggling in general.
It's not. It's as though they like those things, and it's not even a lack of commitment. It's a commitment to obstruct,
exactly, and
frustrate immigration enforcement and make it not work. So you have this big crisis, and they've that's what they've done. They're acting like a sanctuary state, passing laws trying to mess up immigration enforcement in their state, and we would like to. That, it seems to me, is more than just an ordinary failure to take care that the laws be faithfully executed, which is the president's duty in the Constitution. It's something that's almost unique in our history, where a president is setting up obstacles to those laws, frustrating their enforcement, and across the board in this interlocking group of policies that just create a magnet and for more illegal immigration, and then they can claim they don't have the resources, and they it all works together, and it seems like there's been a plan to have this happen.
Yeah, exactly. My man, thank you very, very much. Folks, we've been speaking with our good friend, Mr. Chris Hajec from the Immigration Reform Law Institute in Washington, D.C. Chris, thank you very much for taking time to explain and talk to us about these legal issues legal cases that are going on right before us.
Yes, my pleasure. It's a tremendously dire situation.
Yeah, to say the least. Once again, my friends, George Rodriguez, El Conservador, on KLUP 930 AM radio, The Answer.